Good morning again. I'm in the metallurgical engineering and material science department, and I'm already there are a number of things Professor Mahajani has referred to. So I would sort of touch upon a number of keywords which he has already said, but particularly about need identification, and then how it leads to maybe innovation. I had just one curiosity, just sitting here thinking that how would you, meaning it's just a curiosity, okay, that how do you plan to use what you learn here? Is this going to be useful to you? Meaning, I know there may be objective which we already have in mind, but I'm just thinking that would you use it in the classrooms, or would you use it in your research, or would you use it, I don't know, in an entrepreneurial kind of thing? If you have a, does Nalanda College of Engineering, where largest participant number of participants are there, do you have like a incubator, or what do you have? Like how? I was just curious. How would you use this? Although probably you are yet to see entire thing, right? You have not seen, but I guess you have some program with you. So any sorry, more startups. Okay, okay. You are in Bilaspur. Anybody else wants to say about the other? I think there are other, at least two or three more, two colleges more. One was Rajasthan, I heard. You are in that. So how would you utilize whatever you are seeing in the sort of program? Okay. Achha. So it may add to the course, maybe reinforce it, and then also think of. And from Nalanda College, anybody has any thoughts on? Okay. Like individual courses, meaning reformulating or the approach itself. Okay. Anyway, I'll point out. I sometimes I have used some of these thoughts, or the style of thinking in some of my courses. Okay, but at the same time, I can tell you one thing, that uh, I am associated with three of our student companies. So in a way, the way I see it connect with the bottom of the pyramid is more in employment generation. I don't know whether that can be treated also partly. So one of our student companies started about 10 years ago. They have not become very large, but they employ today about 50 people, 55 people. And we are hoping that we actually can. So that is one company which manufactures ceramics and furnaces, high temperature furnaces. There's another company which got started more recently, which makes dental crowns. Some of you would, I hope none of you need it, but you would have seen it with other people where they use caps or crowns, for some reason, that you have. And that dental lab is in Indore, and basically the customers are dentists. And the one way you can contribute is to try and deliver lower cost solutions, so that, because I don't know if you have heard, dentistry in general, people say that those who can't afford, even if there is a need, they would just go untreated, or they would go to quacks, people who would not have the right knowledge, and then that actually makes them suffer more. So can you deliver some lower cost solutions is one possibility there. And we at IIT are trying to maintain a linkage with them and trying to develop materials. Most of these materials are imported, the dental materials. If you ever get in touch with anybody, they'll tell you there's a huge import, and that obviously also raises the cost of the treatment to the customer. So we have that, and that lab also employs about 30 people now. And we have another company which is just only in very initial phases, which is trying to do some biomedical kind of diagnostic kind of device. So there is something called gait analysis, GAIT, where essentially one analyzes a walking pattern of a person. And I don't know medical side of it so detailed, but they say that the walking pattern of a person predicts, either predicts maybe possible diseases that may come, or there are people who suffer from brain related disorders who are under treatment, so they want to monitor how the treatment is effective or not, and that apparently is also done from walking patterns. So these gait analysis labs are usually in large hospitals, and they are quite expensive to, like the patient has to be brought to the lab, to the hospital, and each so to say a test would cost couple of thousand rupees. So it's both inconvenience to the patient because it's very centralized. Like in Mumbai, I think there are two. One is in Ambani hospital, so person has to be taken there, right? Now this development which one company is involved with and partnering another small company is in trying to develop a pair of shoes, so to say, which is the diagnostic device, which will be loaded with all kinds of sensors, whether it is pressure or gyrometers or accelerometers, and so multiple sensors are involved in those pair of shoes. But the good thing is and so the patient must just wear those, and as the patient walks, you would gather data. The good thing is this can decentralize it, delocalize, I mean as in you don't have to have a single place where you have to go to, and the treatment costs can be brought down. This is what is expected, and the doctors themselves in their clinics can have this pair of shoe and have a patient sort of walk and collect this data. So these are the kind of things. So once in a while when you work with these student run companies, you get into that whole idea of innovation, the need identification, and further on. Anyway, so I would go on. Hopefully you get something out of it in whatever you said, where you can use these things. But like Professor Mahajani said, bottom of the pyramid. So while there are lots of, he said, right, there are lots of, and every one of us knows there's such a large number of problems or needs if you start looking around, but maybe the question of prioritizing. So Tata Center prioritizes the bottom of the pyramid, as Professor Mahajani said. So I am also just showing you some related things, let's say, in a sense that there are certain problems which I have not, what I show will not pinpoint at a single problem, but the bigger picture. And that's why I am saying here urgent need for innovation. So there are certain things, and these are just examples. There are many such things. Okay. So one which is known as per whatever data that is existing, whether it is the healthcare agencies, but the under 5 mortality rate in India. So that is the number of children which never make it to age of 5, and there are lots of issues why that happens, but that number is very large. It just came very recently, it kind of dropped just below 1 million. So about 10 lakh children per year in India don't make it to age of 5. And certainly there are very clear needs which can be pinpointed, which can be addressed through technology. I mean, there are maybe other reasons also, but technology plays a part. But this is quite a large number. Imagine every month you literally have 80 to 90,000 kids on an average, which don't make it, other than all the other things you hear what happened in, let's say, Bihar, or sometimes reported from Uttar Pradesh, but these are anyway sort of there, that number. So very large number of children, which is very sad for a country, which aspires to sort of go towards a developed nation, right? Sometimes what happens is, I also personally feel that, I don't know what you feel, sometimes you feel very disconnected to it. Do you feel connected that every month 80,000, 90,000 children dying, but how will I think it in terms of mathematics or electronics or, computer science? You may say, look, what do I do with computer science and this? So I am saying sometimes looking deeper actually brings up issues which probably can. I don't know, I mean, here I see in our institute, and I know that faculty member whom I am thinking of is supported by Tata Center. There is a colleague who is developing multiple apps, and also Professor Kameshwari is there. I don't know whether she is a speaker, but
I think she was speaker.
So you will hear from Professor Kameshwari that she has done very interesting things. She has created some app which helps establish a call like a 1-800 number which will link, like she's doing something in nutrition and maybe many other things which I am not, education. So I'm saying she's from computer science. Now, so she has projects which are directly impacting, society. So I'm saying if you look deeper, I guess you start to identify that on the surface it doesn't look very connected. That what do I do with these children, who don't make it to age of 5. But I think every department almost sometimes can come up with something. There was one very critical need which is still not solved. I'm just sharing it. I attempted with some help of students because I am not from that domain. I just knew of the need that when the health, there are a lot of children who are malnourished also. That will come up. I mean, if you are aware of malnourishment in India, they say that roughly even till today, about 1/3 of the children in this country are malnourished. I don't know whether you know what is malnourishment. Does anybody know how would you figure out if there's a child like 6-month-old child, how would you know that, what would you do to figure out whether this kid is under the category of malnourishment? Any idea? So weight and age, so there is a correlation. And in fact, they say not just, there are 2-3 parameters, weight, height, and there are some charts, where you can look up what percentile your child is in, okay. And there is also middle upper arm circumference they measure, and they also measure circumference of the head. These are additional things they do. Okay, and this tells them whether the child is malnourished, and because first 2 years of malnourishment is very serious. If we don't take care of it, they say it's irreversible. So, if you are malnourished in the first 2 years of life, if a child, then their brain does not develop. And I was surprised the first time I learned that by 2 years, a child develops 80% of their brain. So, if you miss nutrition in the first 2 years, it's irreversible. Nothing can be done. The child would have very poor comprehension skills. So, imagine a country where 1/3 children, the data says, are malnourished. So, they will grow up with limited ability to comprehend. Now, you can't do anything even if you say, okay, I'll deliver better education. It has nothing to do with education. That time for them is just inability, physiological limitation. So, what I am saying is there was a problem statement which I learned by talking to people, I had some interest, that they say that height measurement or length measurement is very critical as much as the weight. Okay. Now, how do they do length measurement is, there is something called an infantometer. So, you have to lay the child, child must be held straight, and there is this like a plastic thing with scale which has movable ends, because you can have any length, right. So, you fit the child between that and you measure the length, but these articles to measure length precisely, okay, because if you do not measure, you can easily put the child either not malnourished where the child may be. So, you need precision, and these things are molded and they were costing some 8,000 to 10,000 rupees, these things. So, for us, whether it sounds large amount of money or not, but these things are, then they say, are not so easily available everywhere. So, they manage somehow, but somebody said, or maybe that idea came up discussing with students, that can we not have a mobile phone based app which will, okay, you still have to lay the child straight, but can you just take a picture of the child and be able to output the height, okay, because the reason being mobiles are everywhere. So, you do not then need or if there is a home visit with the healthcare worker to the family, you can measure the length right there. So, we tried it, but we never got a precise thing. The idea that was tried, but if any of you ever have a possibility, I know of NGOs which are ready to, they are waiting, they say, okay, can you give this solution to us? So, the idea that got tried was the following, that we said, okay, you take a picture, but then you have to have a calibration, meaning you cannot restrict the person from not holding here, there, whatever, right, except for the fact that child should be laid straight. So the student only said, who was working on it, that the next most common thing which people carry today for calibration is a debit card maybe. If everybody is having bank account, they say, then debit card kind of may be carried. So you say, okay, you put the debit card, you may not have to, you put the debit card on the child, lay the child straight, take a picture, and then with image recognition you get the debit card length, which is we know the length, but we now do, and then you get the length of the child. The app worked and all that, and I still have the code, but it was giving too much errors. It never came, and then I kind of, didn't get students on it. But this is one problem statement which is literally from the field, and people really like to have it. They said when we shared with them, they were very keen, but we couldn't deliver it. So I am saying there are things like these which come, but then the other thing, even though I am jumping ahead in a way, but I feel sometimes when I am thinking of this or any such thing, the problem statements start to flow when you start talking to stakeholders. And a lot of times I have personally felt that I would sit here in IIT many times. That may not be true for Tata Center, but for many other people, I am sitting in my office, whatever, I go teach classes, and I am thinking of problem statements sitting in my office, which doesn't deliver any. I mean, that's not the right ones, what I am saying. And I tried to read on the internet sometimes, how do people come up with ideas, as in even something that gets commercialized. In that, the most common thing which I found where companies or startups or groups failed is when they thought they knew the problem statement. The problem statement was just thought by them that I think the user needs this, without actually going to the users, treating them as really stakeholders, interviewing them, or meaning interacting with them, and then deriving a problem statement. So, I mean, I can relate that to you to a very practical thing. I have a PhD student now who's working on dental materials. He started 1 year ago. He said, I think I have identified a problem. He started working. He spent 1 year working. He carried out some work, and after a while we realized that actually that problem statement was just thought about by him or together, and it was not really a need. He was trying to develop materials which are imported, but when you talk to the dental lab, they said the cost has come down so much, even if you were to make it today indigenously, even though it's an imported thing, it will not impact us too much. So now what I told him was, I said, let's go back to zero, and you please interview 100 dental labs and 100 dentists. So right now he is doing that. He finished 1 year, but he is going and talking to dental labs and dentists. I said, let's get a problem statement defined by the stakeholders, which are these two. And I think sometimes I'm just sharing because I feel I have made that mistake many times. Thinking, sitting in my office, I think I know the problem. But unless I have talked to stakeholders, I am actually arriving at a wrong problem statement. And the more stakeholders that I have spoken to, the better it gets. Like I told you about the length measurement app, I had no idea. And I spoke to these people, I saw the infantometer being in use, I asked them the cost, and then they said, look, this is, if somebody can do it, it's great. So problem statement identification itself, which you will hear probably in the many talks here, is such a critical thing, and I think talking to large number of stakeholders really makes a big difference. Otherwise, it's like technology push, you have heard that, right? I have a technology, and I will come to you and I will say, please use it. But you can say, I don't need it. You have a technology, what do I care, You do whatever with it. I don't need it. So I think that need part coming from stakeholders is very important. This is anyway, everybody knows that, we are hearing of it all the time, people not having jobs, people living at, so there are so many people, it says 27 crore people living at about 100 rupees per day kind of, which is, I mean, hard to imagine how people survive when you talk of nutrition, education, everything, and 100 rupees per day, or it's terrible. Malnutrition I just said, right? So about 1/3 of children in this country still almost are in that back bracket of malnutrition. And it's a serious issue. Not only that brain development, these children when they grow up, they will have very low immunity. So they will have low income and large health bill, doctor visits. If you see many people, that way, I sometimes see among poorer people, they are often falling sick. Maybe some of them who I would link it that way, but that's a very serious issue. They have many doctor visits because they are prone to infection. They don't have immunity because of, just imagine, because of that first 2 years of lack in malnutrition. And the medical literature says that they will also have chronic diseases. So they will have like heart related issues, kidney related issues because of the first 2 years. So it's such a serious thing that I think if anybody gets interested in malnutrition, if you talk to people, I'm sure you will find some things where you can contribute. In some ways you can contribute to this, because 1/3 of, and it's like I say, in Hindi, most of you would know Hindi, being malnourished in the first 2 years is like श्राप मिलना, श्राप है, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, उसके बाद बदल नहीं सकते. So that is the terrible part which you feel. There are a lot of things you can reverse, you can improve, treat, you can't do anything to this. So imagine that child, what was the fault of that child? Just that first 2 years of lack of nutrition causes all this. So anyway, it's quite serious that way. And then this is the other thing which we see, right, which increasingly, it may not be there in human, and you're not from big cities, but still in the, so to say, the bigger cities, large majority of Indian cities are headed in that direction, and I don't know, I think now, because these things are also on WhatsApp, you would have seen, I've seen pictures which don't look so good. People in Delhi with, in the lungs, I don't know how they take that picture or whatever, but they have deposition in the lungs, so, and that deposition you can't do anything about. So they say, I don't know, if when you read newspapers, it will say, right, if you live in Delhi, you are, with every year of living in Delhi, how much lifespan is reducing for you. They are saying that's what is being predicted. So this is a major thing which is growing all the time, every city, because more vehicles, and it's, in fact, I was told by our IIT Bombay CESE department in a tech fest, I was talking to them, they said that CNG, which is considered cleaner, will still give you fine particulate emission. So that is also, it is also contributing. It may be better, but not like absolutely free of any pollutants. And that way this is serious. In terms of, it doesn't really matter, but it says very large % of respiratory issues around the world. India is a big contributor there because of this situation. And I think each of you, I don't know if you have heard, but there are a lot of people who say, right, just to contrast, that if you ever travel abroad to some of these, developed countries, people say, look, I feel a little more energetic when I go there. I can feel the air is cleaner. I can feel it. But then we are headed to a, you can feel the reverse. You can feel the pollution actually, right? But it's very serious. Imagine the traffic policeman. There's no escape. We have enough traffic policemen there right in the middle of, somebody may say that is not large in number, but that is not true. There are enough people other than traffic policemen who are exposed to this kind of daily, shopkeepers who are right there. So it's a major issue. I don't know which department should look into it, but I guess many can do collaboratively, there are always ways of thinking. And I think sometimes also I see, maybe even in Tata Center, but there are people working on problems which are not classically belonging to that department, right? If a computer science person, I think we have enough people even in IIT Bombay, like people, let's say in computer science, if they are interested in this or any other department for that matter, finally innovation has nothing, innovation doesn't belong or cannot be categorized into a department. If you are very, affected in any way by a problem which you want to solve, no matter whether you are, you would not want to say, right, no, I am from computer science, I have nothing to do with nutrition. But that's a very odd thing then. So that is going against, I think, the spirit of innovation then, right? So this is another issue which keeps cropping, which is always in the news at least. And I believe there are solutions to it. Manual scavenging, right? Every few 1 month hardly goes by when you hear deaths from manual scavenging. And from what I learned, there are machinery also available, sometimes just lack of knowledge, but that also is a problem. Lack of knowledge is a problem then. I mean, I think just a month ago or so, it happened in Ahmedabad or Surat, 7 people, and it's the same story every time. The person would enter, or maybe 2 people enter, they never come back, more people follow to figure out. It's complete lack of information then. I mean, maybe these people have not known, and most of the time, the Gujarat case, the recent one was, the overall story that came out was that machine existed, but the person who ordered, like who's the owner and ordered for cleaning, wanted to save money, and this cost less. For 1,500 rupees of savings, 7 lives were lost. I mean, I don't know, I mean, it can happen maybe only in India. 1,500 रुपए में 7 जिंदगी चली गई is just unbelievable. It was in the news report. It's crazy. I mean, so what do you do with lack of information? Machinery also exists. So is it education? I don't know how to get to that, because every year there are deaths with manual scavenging. Or I don't know, maybe it just goes into the policy domain. I don't know where it goes. It's very difficult to point out where the innovation is required. Although I know two groups working on some better machines for this manual scavenging. This is just some comment on, the education part itself. I mean, maybe many of us went to private schools, right? I don't know. I went to a private school and I don't think any faculty children, I mean, except for Kendriya Vidyalaya, nobody is going to municipal schools, for example, from IIT. So many of these schools, what is reported, and Pratham is a very large NGO in the education space. They are almost pan-India. So this is from Pratham. They say half of the 5th grade children cannot read a story designed for 2nd graders. I mean, these are also very serious issues then, right? A quarter can only do simple division. So, and it always, it has remained the issue. I don't know whether some innovation here. I always think that the innovation space where, a space where innovation may be needed is maybe teacher training. Although there are other issues also, complicated issues, because it may not sound very technical, but many times I have this habit. I work with children a little bit, and every one of us also has that habit of talking to children and wanting to know what they wish to do in life. I have not found in recent times at least children saying, I want to be a teacher. I cannot find. Recently I had asked somewhere, I forgot where. Nobody says, no, very rarely children, say that I want to be a teacher. Now, I don't know, it may not be a technological problem, but it's a problem in a country where nobody wants to be a teacher. Then what do you do? Yeah, I remember now, I was in Bhopal in one place just 2 days ago, and there were some school children, and I gave a talk and on innovation only, and I said, does anybody want to be a teacher? And nobody raised their hand. Then I said, how would you get good teachers, then what will happen? So nobody is inspired to be a teacher. It's a problem. What do you do with it? I don't know. Not a good answer. Only thing is, I've thought many times that we should at least look at teacher training little more, what happens. Okay, this is data on agricultural productivity. It is old, but what I did was, I have not been able to put it, but I checked this data recently also, just 2018 or so. For each of these, for example, in wheat, it says so many hundreds of kgs per hectare. So India, compared to other countries, UK, France, China, is at least with respect to the highest, we are 1/3. And I checked this number, it has not changed. It's very sad. 2002 data, and I saw just now, the productivity has not changed. I was thinking maybe there is some improvement we have caught on, but it remains very low actually. And I always come back to that thought here because earlier I used to be teaching at IIT Kharagpur, which is the only IIT I think which has agricultural engineering. And when, I don't know, even if your children make it to IIT JEE, would you suggest to them that please join agriculture engineering at IIT Kharagpur? Generally not. Most people don't want to suggest that. We would rather suggest go to computer science. So I am saying most people don't want to be in agriculture, and I've been in IIT Kharagpur, right? So people who were graduating out of agriculture, where would they go and work? Pepsi or some such food processing company was the dream job. So I doubt that they were going to ever contribute to this. And I can imagine. I'm just thinking that this productivity also is linked to technology. I know there are enough people who think about it. But I am saying in general, it's not seen as something very, very desirable. But at the same time, I just heard, I was in a university called Rabindranath Tagore University in Bhopal, and they have some degree in agriculture, and they say now, the most recent thing, they say that because engineers are not finding jobs, their engineering seats are going vacant, but agriculture is oversubscribed. For some reason they are finding, I don't know, who's hiring them, that I don't know. But at least some sign of, they said that they had whatever number of seats, it was going oversubscribed by 3 times, at least in that university. And it's in a little off the city, this university that I am talking about, Rabindranath Tagore University. So, but all I am saying is I think there is enough need of innovation in agriculture because this data still almost everywhere I saw it remains the same. We are far behind in terms of productivity. So I want to show some data or some thoughts on, because we talk about these keywords, all of us talk about research, right? Research, as in I am also saying research themes, I can say this, that in the recent times at least, when I have had people approach me for PhD as a, being a research scholar, I have started to tell them with more and more of that inclination now that look, I would rather, at least at my whatever stage of career, I would rather accept students who take interest in at least having some inclination to seeing where it's going to be used, this research, and whether something can come out of it. So if you have that inclination, then I'm interested, or I'm sort of withdrawn from some areas where I think this research is only going to lead to publication, and there's no possibility, at least in the near term, that it may go out and get utilized. So in a way I am trying to say that this linkage, to examine this linkage is important, interesting, because it links to each one of us also, that how am I going to choose my research problem statement. So I have some things here. See, this is some again news item from 2018. It says India is among the world's top 10 nations in publications, 17th in number of citations, okay, and ranked 9th globally in number of publications and 12th in number of patents filed. So the numbers don't look very poor, as in terms of where we are standing in publication, citation, patents don't look too bad, right? But look at this statement. However, whether this knowledge is translated into growth rates remains to be seen. That's very critical. Sometimes, I have seen, maybe I have now 4 or 5 patents granted, but I have not been able to commercialize one also. So I have now become a little more wary about that. Very early on in my career, there was this thing, okay, why don't you file a patent for this? And maybe not knowing it entirely, I have filed. So there were 2 or 3 which were filed very early on, and they never got commercialized. And patent requires a maintenance fee. I don't know what is the amount, but if you want to keep your patent alive for 20 years, you have to pay. So that is why this statement is very important. Is it translating into growth? Is very important. Okay. In your respective fields, you can think of what patent from whether your institute or from the country has led to development of a product. Do you know of anything in your fields? Do you know of anything like? Even elsewhere, I am not saying just your college. This is nothing to do with a specific college, right? Very, very critical. Now, another thing, This is again from a government website, but Government of India, some of you may have heard chemistry, I don't know if you have heard of, there was a nano mission, nano science and technology, Government of India had a nano mission, and in 2007 government gave 1000 crores for it. And I mean to be used for research, right? Universities, whatever, anybody can apply for it, put a proposal. Then again in 2014 they renewed it. Sorry, one second, no, that slide is missing, but in 2014 they renewed it with 650 crores. So I don't know whether now, I mean it must be now ending that particular stage, phase 2. So till now for nano mission government has spent 1650 crores. But the thing is that if you notice, there was this news item which I don't have it here, but the news basically was about the fact that stage 2 is granted, but the question that was being raised, or even the department was stating that we would like to emphasize much more in this phase 2 on utilization of the knowledge. So my point is, if 1650 crore rupees was spent, one has to be concerned, I mean whether it is the government and whether we are the researchers, that when I use this much amount of money, which is a large sum, maybe 250, $300 million, even in dollar terms it's not small, what came out of it, right, is a question, right? So this was anyway the news item, yeah, for phase 2, 650 crores. Yeah, here it says, right, the nano mission in this new phase will also make greater effort to promote application oriented R&D so that some useful products, process and technologies also emerge. So maybe from the first 1000 crore we didn't have much of success. Have you heard of any product from nano in India? Anything which is nanotechnology based, which has come out? I don't know personally, so I may be wrong, but I don't know personally, at least not something large impact. Some small things may have been there, but not very large impact. Now this is a journal article, very prestigious journal, okay. You would know maybe from chemistry, I don't know, impact factor will be quite high and really very prestigious. So this paper published by one of my colleagues, okay, not very old, 2014, but this is in an area in solar cells, and there is this new class of materials, so to say, perovskite. Perovskites have been around for long, but hybrid, inorganic, organic, hybrid perovskite based solar cells is more recent, and lot of people all over the world are now, like how research has trends, or research itself has a fashionable thing, right? So currently this perovskite solar cells is something which lot of people are working on in IIT Bombay, many departments, energy science, electrical, physics, metallurgy, okay, everybody working on this area. So this professor, whose name I have hidden, I asked him that he's one of the best in the country in this area. So I asked him once in a casual conversation, okay, not formal, I said, what is the future of this? Because lot of people are believing this may replace silicon, they are believing, and it's going to be lower cost and all that. So lot of excitement. So he said he had one funny answer. He said, I know I am publishing, doing well, so I will get promoted, whatever, assistant to associate or whatever that is. And the second thing he said which was more significant, is he thought that when they get commercialized, we will still import them. So what I am saying is, it goes in the same thing that, look, a lot of things we import in this country, right? Everything that you can think of. Did you know that the ballpoint pen that you are using, the ball, the roller of it, there are a couple of mechanical engineering people, right? That ball of the ballpoint pen, I think it's still not made in India. I have evidence to show you that the ink in the ballpoint pen is still imported. So ballpoint pen roller is a product of like mechanical engineers can think of it, right? And I always say, maybe partly just joking, but partly serious, that if somebody were to manufacture these ballpoint pen rollers, how many must be consumed in the country on an yearly basis? Number of these rollers, 1000 crore rollers. I mean 130 crore population, and I don't know, you go through a multiple pens per year, 1000 crore may be also low. But if you have 1000 crore rollers and if you make 10 paisa profit, I am not saying sale price, profit of 10 paisa on one roller is itself 100 crore. 100 crore of profit means generally turnovers would be several thousand crores, then you get at least 1000 crore would give you maybe 100 crore profit, 10%. But we don't look at it, right? I don't know why. When I talk the same thing to students in classes, they have the same question. Why don't we, or why can't we? Whichever question you want to say. Why can't we? I say can or cannot, probably I can't answer. I feel that maybe we can. It is not a question of ability, right? It's not something that great. But why don't we? I don't know the answer. Why don't we make? Why don't we make the inks for ballpoint pens? So I am not even talking of something very sophisticated. So we will do research on grinding, but we will not be making ballpoint pen rollers, for example. There are enough experts on grinding in the country because it requires grinding. You have to make a sphere, then grind it down, polish, lap. There will be people who will have published papers, hundreds of papers maybe, but will not make ballpoint pen. So don't you think it's reflecting little bit on the choice of problem statement also? I'm going to make a choice of problem statement in which I'll get maximum number of publications, not product. So then the economic growth will not happen, right? So same thing this person was saying. You know what are OLEDs? Organic light emitting diodes. We know that products are existing, right? You have displays, OLED displays, TVs. So, okay, don't take it personally, as in I am not pointing to some person's name, but you see this first paper here by Indian people, very prestigious journal. Look at the number of citations. All of you know what citations means. 559 citations is not a joke. Huh? Reaching 100 citations itself, it's not so easy. That means there's something interesting, good contribution, right? So there are Indian people who are working on OLEDs, but are we making OLEDs? No. I don't know whether we will make in the next 20 years or 50 years also, because by the time you try to make it, the world is elsewhere. So are you getting my point? When I started this part of the talk, I said research and economic development. You can always do research, but at the end of the day, if nothing got made out of it, then what was the use? Because nowadays when you talk to researchers, high impact, but high impact should be on what is existing in the country. If you impact people who are working, let's say in Korea and manufacturing OLEDs, and they say, wow, this is a nice article, let me improve my OLED, and then sell it back to India. So you are actually getting poorer by doing research, not richer by doing research. I mean, it's strange, but I am saying that definitely tells us that our choice of problem statements has something to do with it. We are not ready to choose problem statements which are directly related to something which we can actually make it happen. I can do a OLED research, but nothing ever will get done, right? This is a paper from from IIT Bombay. Professor Om Prakash was my BTech project guide. I did my BTech here. So he published on superconductivity and magnetism, and I worked with him for my BTech project on superconductivity, because as a student I was really excited. Oh, superconductor! Sunte hi like, oh great, this sounds so nice. Then when I met him after 10-15 years after graduating, he said, I have left all that research. I said, kya ho gaya? He said, nee, whatever I published, nobody used in India. Everything possibly got used abroad somewhere. They made products, they did everything. Nobody used in India. Kuch banaya nahi, kisi ne kuch hua nahi. So he changed his research area to Ayurveda. He was a physicist. So he said in Ayurveda there is enough synthesis required, enough spectroscopy required, because Ayurvedic, there are people manufacturing Ayurvedic medicines, but they are toxic actually, some of them, because they use whatever, mercury or lead or whatever, but it has to be in a certain form. But if you are not very educated, or maybe the transfer of practice has not happened perfectly, he He showed that this Ayurvedic drug which is in the market is actually toxic. So he changed his field to Ayurveda. He said, maybe somebody will at least use what I am doing. I can talk to the companies who are making Ayurvedic drugs. So just imagine the contrast. एक तरफ superconductivity, एक तरफ Ayurveda. But do you see the reason he is changing? How many people I think feel that, but do they take the decision is the question. Right? So when you are going to choose a problem statement, when you write to DSTA project, you will write maybe in an area जहाँ थोड़ा hot area है, so to say, right? But वो use होगा या नहीं ये कोई नहीं बोल सकता. That nobody can say. You are making a choice of a hot area, but I don't know whether anybody will use it. So I am trying to tell you that I think it is worth thinking. I started thinking little late also, but at least anyway now. So whatever my first PhD students, whoever did some, my first PhD student or first 2-3 were in IT Kharagpur, and we worked on ceramic shape forming. Those things got utilized in our first company. We didn't still make any breakthroughs, but at least they are employing people. So at least that feels little better. Okay, publications came, the first student became a professor in IT Kharagpur itself, that's all separate, but at least it got utilized in a company, that kind of knowledge. So I think that choice is important. Now I want to go to economics of innovation, as in, again, idea is same, innovation, see research is there, but research, not all research leads to innovation. To research, you do some incremental thing, you publish and be happy, okay, I published. Many of you are doing PhDs or have done PhD or masters, some of you would have published papers, right? When you see your paper in that journal, you feel happy, right? Shuru mein to, matlab first 2-3 are very, oh, mera paper print ho gaya, now I am in print. Anybody in the world can see my name. But that's only early on. As I said, now you don't feel it, it's students, okay, need it in a way. But if it's going to remain in that published volume or on the internet, kuch fayda nahi hai. And I'll show you that fayda nuksan is what I'm going to talk about. Have you seen, what is balance of trade? Some of you may know, although none of you are from whatever economics, but I also anyway don't know, but balance of trade is basically the difference between import and export. And it's kind of representing innovation potential also. If you innovate, then you export more, right? How can you export? You have not done anything, how do you export? So I will show you data. So the blue color, those bars, I'll read the numbers, but the blue color represents when export is more. The other color represents when import is more. So you are losing money. So this China last year का data है, but ये थोड़ा बहुत ही change होता है. July 2018, their in net inflow difference was $28 billion US. 28 billion is almost 30. 2 lakh crores rupees in rupees. 2 lakh crores per month of net inflows by trade. Investment is separate, that is different, that is not coming here. This is only trade. 2 lakh crores, and you take average, their average is about $20 billion per month. I mean, just imagine 2 lakh multiplied by 10. 2 lakh crores multiplied by whatever 12. It's huge, right? Now you see that is anyway a large country. Look at, you will say, okay, theek hai, bada country. South Korea, okay? South Korea is very small, tiny country. I don't know if you have noticed on the map, it's very tiny. July 2018, $7 billion surplus. Okay, average is around maybe, okay, 7. $6 billion is about 42,000 crores, 42 into 12. It's massive for that smaller country, and their population densities are always low. We are on very high population density, they are very low. Fewer people, small land mass, and that much of surplus. So when I once only visited Korea, and I could correlate very clearly. If you travel to Korea, you will see that this looks better than the developed world, so to say. I mean, earlier they are better than European countries or whatever. Just you can't find a flaw. Everything perfect, beautiful infrastructure. Who's helping them build that? Partly India. Partly India. I mean, we are the largest customers, I think, one of the largest. So you will see. So this is South Korea, okay? Then you see Japan, some negatives, but overall they are positive. We know that they, some fluctuations in economy, but overall they are doing positive. Taiwan, very small country, again, every month 4-5 billion US dollars, right? Now the last slide in this is India and Germany. That's India. No, not a single blue, not any month, okay. So we are, look at July 2018 data, negative $18 billion, and we are continuously negative. So I don't understand economics, but if you continue to do that, I don't know how are we, I don't know, we have maybe debts or whatever, but this is, I don't know how long one can sustain, how long one can sustain this kind of negative, trade balance. And then I always say, who's responsible for this? Who should we hold responsible? क्या ऐसा condition है? Almost mirror image of Germany है कुछ. Germany का जुलाई 2018 में 22 बिलियन यूरोज है, हमारा minus 18 बिलियन डॉलर्स है. Whom should we hold responsible? Government? I don't think so. I don't agree. Government is not the maker of things. Government can set some policy, yes, to some extent. Huh? People like us. So we keep publishing, let's say, don't take it that way negatively, but I am saying, I am using example OLED, so we will research OLED, but we will not make OLED. तो फिर क्या होगा? आप OLED TVs खरीदेंगे तो ये इसमें बढ़ता जा रहा है ना. They are saying, I mean, I forget the number, but electronics import bill itself is very huge now. कुछ नहीं बनाते हम इंडिया में. Assembly, electronics, we don't make anything, right? So I'm saying, okay, forget that, but I'm saying at least किसी एरिया में तो होना चाहिए. So इसका दो अप्रोच हो सकता है, या तो इसको जीरो लाने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं by making things ourselves. पॉजिटिव जाना है तो फिर तो बहुत ज़्यादा एफर्ट है कि you start making things which anybody else will buy. I am saying one is you make things which are right now being imported. तो थोड़ा कम किया उसको जीरो की तरह. But to make it positive, you have to make things and sell it elsewhere. Which means imagine what kind of research is required. I can tell you with some experience that even the simplest of the things in terms of making is so challenging with good quality that I always say, now my students who are running that company, I say one of them is very keen to do a PhD. सालों से sir PhD तो करना है मेरा रह गया. I say the kind of things you are doing and what you know will give you, I mean, I'm just joking partly, but you know so much now, you should be given an honorary doctorate because you can make that ceramic which मेरे lab में अगर मैं PhD student को बोलूँगा नहीं बना सकता उतना perfectly. Making a product is way more challenging than doing a PhD. At least I would admit honestly, I've also done a PhD. Now I know when you are producing samples, अच्छा कुछ sample खराब आ गया. Sometimes you just, okay, forget it, ये data फिर से बनाओ. लेकिन मैंने ये तो नहीं देखा ना 100 में कितने खराब आते हैं. कंपनी अगर ये करेगी तो कंपनी immediate finished. You have to have, they always say if you go to industry, they say zero defect, target is zero defect, no tolerance to defects. Research lab सब चल जाता है, PhD मिल जाएगी. अगर आप PhD में गए हैं, बहुत कुछ ज़्यादा गड़बड़ नहीं है तो PhD तो मिलेगी, right? Product बनाना बहुत मुश्किल है. And that too, see, services, I think, I'm not putting them down. Services is one kind, but India lags far more in the manufacturing sector. We don't make things. So this is the thing. No other community is as responsible as engineers for this. Doctors can't influence this. Lawyers, artists, nobody can influence. Engineers yeah. Because if you see Germany, I have always heard Germany is strong in engineering. South Korea now very strong in engineering. So all of them have this huge thing, right? But we are. So what I say is just to relate, क्यों इतना सोचना है? बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. When Germany is like this is how Germany looks like. And I am not telling you, this is not an exaggeration. If you visit Germany, you would not find, right? It looks perfect. And when we have such things, then we will look like this only. I mean, okay, thoda exaggeration ho sakta hai, but on an average, India is like that. Some of us may be very fortunate, we are living in better places and all that. But economics has very strong link to everything. So would you make a choice of your research problem statements with, I don't know, I'm saying only as a question, would you not think of it? Very, very important question, and I think sometimes questions only lead to, you have to raise that question in your own life also. This is the historical data. Korea is going up all these years, 70 to now, whatever, 2000s. Germany from much early, okay, very high, that trade balance. China going up, India is going down. It's somewhere here now, $18,000 billion. The most recent data point है वो यहाँ है. So we are like down. Zero आ जाए तो भी बहुत बड़ा बात हो जाए, right? I think every Indian citizen should know trade balance, at least for motivation. I can't do $1 billion or whatever, but for motivation, yes, right? I'll skip this. This is GDP and all that, but this Professor Mahajani was also asking, right? Similar question. And it's related to whatever we just talked, that we don't have one single product from India. Out of for 130 crore population, we don't have one single product which satisfies, engineering product, which satisfies this conceptualized, designed, developed, made in India and sold all over the world. Do you know of any product? I have not been able to. I ask so many all the time when we do these workshops to other places. No product. Which sold all over India. Sorry, all over the world, I mean. Would you see people, German people saying, "Arey, ye product made in India, I want to buy it. I am willing to pay premium, this is so good." Or in the US or Japan or Australia or wherever. But हम लोग 130 crore लोग हैं, कुछ नहीं, I mean, I'm a part of it, okay. So it's not, I'm saying we are all part of it and together in it, but नहीं है. So sometimes I say that itself is a motivation to think of, that कभी तो हो. मैं फिर ये भी पूछता हूँ कि are we an inferior race? We are just inferior. We will never be able to do it. We cannot do it rather, because we are an inferior race. हमारे बस का ही नहीं है. Is that true? तो मुझे तो नहीं लगता. बस का नहीं है is not right. तो कहीं, I think कहीं प्रॉब्लम कहीं और है. जैसे मैं आपको बोल रहा था पहले, क्लास में कैसे, sometimes in class I have asked students, these students who are sitting here have come through JEE, IIT JEE. I don't know, some of your children may want to write or have written whatever, the kind of thing is there about IIT JEE, kitne log likhte hain and all that. So I am saying these people, you can consider them as somewhat smart. When they come in, you talk to them in classes and you say, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट सोच के बताओ ना तुम लोग, एक जना एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट ऐसा बताओ जिस पे काम कर सकते हैं और कुछ निकल के आएगा. काम करने की बात बाद में आएगी, प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट नहीं सोच पाते लोग. Why I am saying this now is, when you are doing your research, when you are making a choice of problem statement, I think that's the most important thing. Now, like I told you, my PhD student, I am saying time लगने दो, PhD खिंच जाए कोई बात नहीं, प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट अगर सही नहीं है तो मत शुरू करो. जरूरत होनी चाहिए किसी को उसकी, तुम करके बैठ जाओगे, पब्लिकेशन कर दोगे. एंड दैट स्टूडेंट, इंटरेस्टिंगली, आई टोल्ड हिम बिफोर ओनली, you are joining me for PhD, I am already telling you, are you really keen on publications? He said, नहीं sir, नहीं, उसको है already product का, then it's a perfect match. So then find a problem statement which somebody needs a solution to, then only work on it. What is the point of, he doesn't want to earn a PhD for any other reason. He wants to use that time to make something किसी के काम आए. So I think वहाँ पर एक problem तो है अपनी community. We end up working on problem statements which nobody wants to use. Nobody has any use for it. That is why we are here. 300 BC, it is known that India was a pioneer in steel making and steel was getting exported. But 300 BC, 2300 साल हो गए लेकिन इस बात को, मतलब अभी भी export हो रहा है, लेकिन I would not, like if Hero motorcycles are going to other countries, I am not going to count it in the same category, in this category. That is not done by us. All technology, everything A to B, इसके बाद ये करना, everything came from elsewhere. Honda, You separate, and then a lot of people think that Tata Motors trucks and buses were all done by Tata. That is not true. I'm not being pessimistic, okay. I am being optimistic because I am saying we have to do something. But Tata Motors had a collaboration with Mercedes-Benz. Afterwards, you don't know Mercedes-Benz name is like, they are not partners anymore. So they don't write Tata Benz or Tata Mercedes. Point is, अगर एक चीज भी ऐसा होता है तो it will infect in a positive. What I am saying is that it will inspire others. If you have one thing to say, today suppose you say, oh, this product is sold all over the world, was done in India, everybody can talk about it, right? Fortunately ISRO is doing, but ISRO is not a consumer thing, so ठीक है, but फिर भी we derive inspiration, right? Don't we like to say, अरे ISRO, you know, they did so much, nobody has ever done, 104 satellites launched in one go. But we need that for other things, because ISRO, okay, maybe they'll make money on it, but still limited. But other things, everything else that we use today is all important. I mean, I'm sure this is not done here. अभी यहाँ बनने की बात अलग है, बट किसने सोचा, किसने डिजाइन किया क्या, वो तो कुछ भी यहाँ का नहीं है. None of these, whatever you hold in your hand. So that's the problem, you know, ballpoint pens, stapler pens, छोटा छोटा चीज़ है, यहाँ से नहीं आया, इंडिया से नहीं आया. मतलब मुझे तो ये लगता है कि अभी कोई पूछे, बच्चे अगर पढ़ रहे हैं, आविष्कार होता है, इन्वेंशन, इंडियन इन्वेंटर का नाम बताओ, सम फेमस इंडियन इन्वेंटर, क्या नाम बोलेंगे? मतलब ऐसा नहीं है, इम्पैक्टफुल नहीं है, होगा छोटा मोटा, ऐसा नहीं कह रहे कि जीरो है, लेकिन इम्पैक्टफुल कुछ भी नहीं है. आई थिंक वी आर समहाउ आवर ओरिएंटेशन इज मे बी इन अ डिफरेंट वे. ये एडवर्टीजमेंट है बॉल पॉइंट पेन का, वो बोल चुका हूं मैं, बट नीचे यहाँ ये सब अच्छा अच्छा बातें लिखी, लिखा है लास्ट में, रिजल्ट ऑफ जापानीज रिसर्च एंड जर्मन इंजीनियरिंग. ये इंडियन एडवर्टीजमेंट है, एडजेल हमारे यहाँ बिकता है. तो कहीं कुछ तो है, राइट, कहीं तो कुछ है ऐसा. इसीलिए मैं आपको शुरू में पूछ रहा था, आप यहाँ आए तो इसको यूज कैसे करेंगे जो बातें यहाँ, आई थिंक वो भी जानना जरूरी है आपके लिए, अपने लिए. मतलब इवन इफ यू डोंट टेल मी, you have to figure out how will you use it, and I hope you use it. That is also I wanted to say. Otherwise कभी कभी क्या होता है, कॉन्फ्रेंस वगैरह में जाते हैं, फिर आके you know you're kind of back into your same kind of thing. I'm not saying you will do that, but all I'm saying is I think that's an important point. Now what does your innovation potential depend on? Any of us, like I was saying, how will you use, maybe you can be an innovator. So I always say, does it depend on your institution? Not at all. It doesn't depend on your department, institution, nothing. एग्रीकल्चर वाला भी वही कर सकता है अच्छा इनोवेशन जो कोई और या कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन वाला. इट्स नथिंग टू डू. सेकेंडली आई ऑलवेज से, लाइक सिंस वी आर सेइंग इंडिया में नहीं है तो क्या प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है, कोई ने रोक के रखा है हमें. यूएस इज नॉट पेइंग अस टू नॉट बीइंग इनोवेटिव, और नोबडी इज टेलिंग अस, और पेरेंट्स और हुएवर. एक्चुअली आई थिंक इट्स आवर ओरिएंटेशन एंड एटीट्यूड. आई फील देर से समझ में आता है ये, मुझे भी, आई एम टेलिंग यू ऑनेस्टली, मुझे आई डिड नॉट रियलाइज फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम. Only thing I can say is when I came back from, I did my PhD in the US, I came back, joined IIT Kharagpur, only thing I decided is, let's do something in which there is something to make, instead of just, you know. So that kind of put me a little bit on that path. Then I met some students who said, sir, can we use this? Okay, let's do something. And then it followed a little bit. But anyway, still I have not done any innovation, okay, any major innovation, but I am hoping to. उसमें क्या बुरा है, होप तो कर सकते हैं अभी भी. सो इट्स जस्ट आवर एटीट्यूड्स. स्कोप, इज देयर एनी स्कोप? प्लेंटी ऑफ स्कोप. मतलब आप कुछ भी कर दें ऐसा, लेकिन प्रोवाइडेड, मुझे ये लगता है अगर आपने प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट सही चुना, लाइक आई सेड, मुझे जो रीसेंट मेरा वो है ना, सो टू से डिस्कवरी बोलिए जो भी, नथिंग बिग, बट आई एम सेइंग मुझे प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट चुनना है स्टेक होल्डर्स से बात करके, नहीं तो मैं उसको लूँगा ही नहीं. जो मैं अपनी टेबल पर बैठ के सोच रहा हूँ वो गलत ही जाने वाला है, क्योंकि वो मैं खुद सोच रहा हूँ, आई थिंक आई एम स्मार्ट, बट दैट इज नॉट ओके. वी कैन बी स्मार्ट, बट यू स्टिल कांट डू इट. यू हैव टू गो आउट इन द फील्ड, टॉक टू 100 स्टेक होल्डर्स, इंटरव्यू देम, फिगर आउट व्हाट डू दे नीड. वंस यू हैव योर प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम दैट, यू कैन नॉट फेल. आई थिंक उसके बाद जब आप, तो इशू ये, अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत हैं, बट प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट चॉइस, the method should be really good. right? And I feel, how do we start on the innovation path? यही है, आपने स्टेक होल्डर से बात किया, प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट अच्छा मिल गया, आपको भी इतना कॉन्फिडेंस होगा अगर ऐसा किया तो, उसके बाद सॉरी मतलब ये उससे लिंक्ड है, नॉट उसके बाद, आप हमें स्टार्टिंग में यही करना है, आइडेंटिफाइंग मोस्ट प्रेसिंग प्रॉब्लम्स और थिंग्स दैट नीड इंप्रूवमेंट एंड मोस्टली बाय टॉकिंग टू स्टेक होल्डर्स एंड this second one is more difficult. Sometimes that may not come from stakeholders always. कभी कभी ये होता है कि कोई चीज़ ठीक है इम्प्रूव करने को, बेटर करने को वो सब है, लेकिन कुछ कंपनीज यू सी दे विल लॉन्च थिंग्स विच यू वुड नेवर थिंक दैट्स अ नीड and then that itself goes into another league. So this I have taken this statement from this book by a company called 3M, if you have heard. This is the 3M is the company which also makes this product. They make very high-tech products and they make such things also. So they have this statement from their book called Century of Innovation. It's available online, free to download, PDF is there, Century of Innovation. But this is one statement they are saying, solving customer problems from across oceans and continents played a major role. This being a company, they have customers, they can talk to them, they can figure out problem statement. But for people like us, we have to go to stakeholders. We don't have any other choice. And this is what again 3M is saying, the most important innovations responded to unarticulated needs. If you go through this book, no, you will see their journey of innovation. It's so interesting. 1902 they started, completed 100 years in 2002. Very interesting how they have grown. If you read that, initial 10-15 years were so much struggle for this company. Many times they thought close it down, but there were people who didn't let it close. And today, maybe this is 2-3 year old data, their domains in which they exist is huge, very large. They make electronics, medical, pharma, everything that you can think of, they are there in it. 2 lakh crores revenue, 32,000 crore profit. So why I emphasize on profit is, you start with these innovations, you build a company, and when you become profitable and when you have good amount of money, then your innovation pipeline will not shut down, I feel, because you need money to promote innovations, right? A company which has 32,000 crore profit, I am sure will never shut down now. The innovations will keep coming, including the philosophy they have. Same way, I quickly, R&D spending of Samsung, I think this is, 2014 was $13 billion for a year. 90,000 crore rupees they were spending in 1 year. So if you spend that much money, obviously your output is going to come out, right? We don't have those kind of companies, and I don't know when we will have ever. So, okay. Some statement, but I think this part I always want to emphasize. And for example, you are from Nalanda College of Engineering, so many people here, let's say, and if you could identify a common problem statement which multiple departments could work together, lot of things are possible. I mean, this is a statement from Ronald Reagan which says, there is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. So at times, besides so many other things that we talked about, sometimes this becomes a hurdle also in moving ahead. They're not the right kind of team spirit. I should not bother so much whether I am the one whose photo appears somewhere or not, or whether I get the credit or not. And I think that can really make a big difference in terms of, the real team part. Just yesterday I was telling the dental lab, there we have the dental lab depends on technicians, who prepare that dental crown, even though there is machinery, and it's a new setup. So we still are struggling with those kind of problems in the team, that some dental technician wants to show that, look, I am the key person here, without me this lab will not run. And even after all of education, you still have to work on this kind of a problem, that look, it's not about you, that one person, unless you say that, look, all of us rather, are important, are contributing, it's not going to make a difference. You will come down. And we have a very serious issue in India which many people agree to, that this is a issue. This is a issue. You have to think about this and try to, like I told you, real situation in that dental lab. Everything is great, good machinery, customer, they are getting dentists, but sometimes this is what fails them. where do we start? I'll just go quickly. My one thing is, which we already said, that your problem statements, as you go through your research, you should think about your problem statements. Don't make a choice only on based on literature review. That is my suggestion based on experiences. I don't think it will always lead you to the best, because many of the times we are reading articles which are published elsewhere, right, in the West, and we say, okay, let me improve it, but that maybe they have come up with that problem statement. So that is one. I will not show, I mean, I would just suggest if you can go through this website designimpactawards.in, because this is by Titan. They started a award competition on innovations, and they have listed down some of the entries that came in. How much time I have?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Huh? So please go through this, because it will give you a lot of interesting examples, and if your students want to enter this competition, this is very nice. If those who win, they I think also get some grants, some 50 lakh kind of grants. So this is a really good one. So I'll skip all that, but you can see there are some interesting innovations they have presented. The other thing is, like we discussed already, in that balance of trade. Either you have something which is an innovation so powerful that you can sell all over the world, but before maybe you go to that, maybe you can do a slightly simpler job, if it is simple, that try to make things which are coming into India. That also can push that, thing gradually. So import substitution, and that, we have been trying in our lab, but anyway, this is the last part, so this 5 minutes I'll take and then finish. So, I also feel, while we know all of this, like whatever I've shown you, but somehow one must remain inspired, okay, and I think that thing is needed irrespective of age. It's not about young people, it's not about, every time you need inspiration in life, right? And I feel sometimes two things I want to say here, only two key things, which I feel make you little bit, bring you in that direction that you remain inspired. Okay, so the first thing is that, I always say that the picture I put is money for a different reason. Money is not the inspiration I am suggesting, the endless inspiration, but I always say that, imagine, just only as an hypothetical case, I say that when you were born, I open a bank account for you, each one of you, when you were born, not, and I deposit 29,200 rupees in that bank account. Don't ask me why, I just do that randomly, okay. You will know why I am saying all of this, and then, but I put a condition, because I opened a bank account in your name just when you were born. I say that this bank account will not give you any interest. So it's a different kind of bank. And secondly, you cannot add any money to this bank account. You cannot earn money by working. You work your life, but you will not earn any money. You have to spend all your life with that 29,200 rupees. So is that okay? Is that okay? No? Sounds too less, right? 29,200 rupees is too less for all your life. But then, that is why I said it's just a story. The reality is, what I have assumed is, I have replaced days by rupees. So it is 29,200 days in a 80-year lifespan, which almost every one of us on an average gets. Right? So then we have a bank account which doesn't earn interest, you can't add to it, and it's decreasing every day. So one day, So life is short in a way, and I think by the time you have this realization as a child, if you tell me also, I may hear it and I just go out and play and still do the same thing. So it needs you to reach certain maturity before you realize. But I also tell, when you are if you are at age of 20, 25, from that period and turning into 50-year-old, which is kind of a milestone, is a very short time. 20 to 50-year period from being college days to turning 50, which most people are not able to imagine. I don't know any of you who are younger can imagine being 50. You don't want to be 50, I know, that's a different thing. Nobody wants to be 50, right? So, but 20 to 50 year span, जिसमें सब कुछ हो जाता है life का, is only about 11,000 days. Would you finish everything in 11,000 days? PhD करके, innovation करके, whatever job, कुछ और job, ये वो सब. Only 11,000 days you get till you turn 50 from being age of 20. So all I am saying is how important time is. And I personally always have felt and kind of tried to use that, look, this is an inspiration. For for me as well every time, you know, okay, I have limited bank balance. I have maybe between 5 to 10,000 left. I don't know how much is left. Nobody can know also how much is actually left afterwards, okay. And then there are these things, maybe, you know, some facts, okay, I always say, okay, look, all philosophical statements, but it gives me always comfort personally, and that's why I keep sharing that we never brought anything to this world, right? And most of the time, if you think about it, right, how much do we need to live really? Not much. And we can't take anything, so why not take some risks, you know? Why not take some risks? Um, Also, materialistic comforts don't eventually end up giving you that kind of satisfaction. Okay, initially you may have, but you need intellectual challenges, and particularly in a community like this, you definitely want some intellectual challenges. The aspect of security, you know, we always, all of us feel, right? I mean, I still meet people even now who are just wanting government jobs, you know. But security doesn't come from any job or anything, it's out inside us, right? So either you will feel secure or you will not feel secure. And then the last parts, which are more directed to actually younger people, when they are making choices, but it can apply to us also. I still have to make choices. So I rather make choices which will make me happy instead of what others think. No, no, you should do this, you know, or you are supposed to do this, or you are supposed to publish high impact journal articles. Who said? I am not supposed to. As a scientist or technologist, it's not necessary for me to publish high impact journal articles. It's not necessary. I am sure your people who are promoting you also would look at if you made a product, probably, right? So and when we are happy, we become more creative, I think. This is the last part, okay? So absolutely the last part. I feel the other thing is we can maximize our potential in life, as in even if we want to do innovation, whatever, all those things that we talk about, if we at some point of time think about what is the purpose, okay, I think it just directs us, it makes us so focused. If we can have a purpose in life, it will just channelize all our energies, okay. And it is expressed, I see this now a lot, you know, in newspapers, and there is a book actually I saw while traveling, you know, on ikigai. Ikigai is like almost the same thing. What's your ikigai? What's your purpose? But it's overlap of these four things: what you love to do, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. So if you can figure out your purpose, and if you don't forget that life is short, I think these two things will really can motivate you on a daily basis. That look, एक एक दिन निकल रहा है, एक एक दिन कितना कीमती है, राइट? अगर 11,000 रुपये होते तो मैं 1 रुपया भी किसी को नहीं ऐसा आसानी से नहीं देने वाला होता है, खरीद लो 1 रुपया, नहीं नहीं, मैं सोच के करता हूँ. Same thing, right? So that's what it is, and I think if you discover your purpose, lot of interesting things happen to you. You remain more happy, all that, okay. Lastly, these people, all these I feel were innovators in some way. Maybe people don't think of this person in a very positive light, but anyway he had some innovation. But I always think that all these people, I think, figured out their purpose, and that is why they did what they did, okay. So I mean, I'll just stop here.
Any other questions?
We actually individuals, they are getting the patterns. Actually, some people are getting patterns, but they cannot expand it beyond India. For example, in India, if they are making some products or they are making some patents, and they cannot go and expand their invention in the abroad. In the sense,
So even here I think if we file for a patent application through IIT Bombay, they would give you a choice or ask you whether you want to file it in India or you want sort of protection or coverage across the world. But obviously going abroad is more expensive firstly.
yeah, it's expensive, but there should be some mechanism so that they can, because for each filing outside, actually we need some contacts over
But
there.
I think NRDC does it, right? NRDC,
But it is not.
there are government agencies
Yeah,
which help
agency
you.
is there, but it is not reaching out the individuals actually. Usually.
Individuals meaning you mean to say like as in you are
Yeah,
thinking
if it is
yourself
an institution kind of thing, then they are supporting
individual inventor.
inventors.
But I am myself not sure, but I would think that there are some government mechanisms where they are willing to help you. And I am not, see, the other thing is, while most institutions go through drafting of the patent through some lawyer firms, but I don't think that is a mandatory requirement. for filing of a patent, it's not a mandatory requirement. It's just that yes, the overall, writing up claims, for example, and all should be done very well. But partly maybe
No, no.
that is true that individuals feel.
No, actually, I have passed this patent agent examination also.
Acha.
So I'm a registered patent agent
Okay,
now.
okay. So
Yeah, actually, we have filed one PCT also.
okay.
Me
For
and
an
my
individual
sister.
inventor.
Yeah, me and my sister, we have done it.
Okay.
And actually, we have filed the PCT also, and it came for the exam. Actually, we didn't file for the examination yet, and we don't know like how to start it. And okay, this was a trial kind of thing. But when we are studying these things, actually, we felt like while applying for the abroad things, actually, you need some contact person over there.
Acha, over there.
Um,
I'm not sure. Yeah, somebody else could answer that.
How we can help you, we will have someone from IIT addresses the judge. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. I'm Parag and General Manager Programs at Tata Center. We welcome you all here. You've brought in a lot of rain along with the rest of you because it's pouring in Mumbai today. So most of us are actually still on our way to work. We're going to take a break of 10 minutes. Our next speaker is because it's 11:18 now. Before we just break, I'd like a minute with you. If Zubin, Chetan, and Aditya can come up in front, I'd like to introduce the lab team to you so that you know what is in store for the next 5 days. You all know that there is a lab component as a part of this workshop. So, Zubin, Chetan, and Aditya. These are the three people who you will be interacting with on a daily basis because they'll be the ones who will be mentoring you, taking you through the lab, helping you understand, helping you with the equipment, helping you in the lab component part of the workshop. So, thank you. And these are the people who you're going to be interacting with. To get that started, you will be expected to visit the lab today. When you're coming to lunch, there is Jatin. Okay, Beryl, you're here. So when you all are going to be coming for lunch to the lecture hall complex building, at 1:30, between 1:30 and 1:45, they will be expected in the lab. So it's your responsibility to ensure that the lab is just one floor below where you'll have lunch. Okay, so you need to come to the lab, see the facility, understand what it is before you're back here at 2 because 2 o'clock the next session starts here today. Why so? Because it's pouring and we would like to catch up when you're in that building to try and ensure the lab visit happens there and then. So you're not going up and down in the rain, which is fine. The program is started today. We are going to have faculty members who have worked with Tata Center and who are working with Tata Center coming and telling you about the kind of work they do. Mr. Bhargava has come here and done the best thing possible, started what we do as and what we understand as innovation. Beyond this, we are going to have faculty who will speak of innovation, who will speak of cases in innovation, cases that they have kind of worked on at Tata Center, basically to give you the gist of what is it that it takes to work on or developing a solution from one end to the other. That's how it's going to be. So all through the sessions, I mean, of course, the first half is going to be a little generic, but post-lunch onwards, it is going to be specific to domains. So specific to domains, specific to departments, so which means it's going to be a proper mix. So you can expect people from mechanical, electrical, chemical, all over, and of course computer science, and yes, design as well. So we'll have, and yes, Jaya of course is from the School of Management. So this is the kind of mix that we have in store for you. You are welcome to join us for tea. We are going to start in the next 10 minutes. Thank you.